are, Rusty Dusty Picker Channel. Once again, we're going to take on a unique project with something that was discarded at a yard sale. Didn't pay any money for this. This is, I guess, a cake mold, or maybe a jello mold, or what have you, of a lobster. I thought it looked pretty cool, so I figured I would make a sign out of it and see how that goes. So let's jump in. What I think I'm going to do is try to carefully actually paint this thing. Believe it or not, I've never painted on a tin cake pan before, but we'll see. I'm going to paint it a bright red to start, and then I will put in the highlights and see if we can get the lobster to pop. And if it doesn't, oh well. So this might take a while, but and you might need to fast forward a little bit through it, but I'm going to give it a try. Let's see what we can do. So we'll just we'll start with some bright red paint and just get the general outline of the lobster complete. Of course, I'll come back and I'll make the eyes black and other highlights to make it semi-realistic looking. So seems to be taking the paint okay, so we're not gonna fret about that. But I'm really curious how it's gonna look with the red lobster look against the, I guess you would call it, copper colored metallic surface. But we'll check that out. It's going to take a little precision to do the claws and some of the other areas, but that's okay. So we're up to about 45 degrees in the shop today, so maybe there'll be a little less sniffling. It's really been crazy with this weather. Just when you think it's spring, they freeze you again and you forget how cold it was. But it's coming. Golf season's coming again. Courses should be open. It's all good. And we'll need a smaller brush to do this, the tighter places here. Once again, I'm trying to not apply too much paint. I like excuse me, almost dropped it. I kind of like where you can see voids. Makes it look, I guess, antique-y a bit. Okay, so we will let this first coat dry, and then I'm going to come back and do some detail work very quickly. Doesn't look like it's going to be too difficult. I'm not unhappy with it so far. So let's let that portion of it dry and revisit it in a couple minutes. Hold on. Okay, so let's see what we can do with these claws here, just to get the detail done. you see here, we have to clean this up a bit, but okay. Moving a little quicker than I normally would, but that's fine for the video. This is going to be easy to clean the mistakes in here. What I do is I just take a blade and I'll make the lines more uniform and such. That takes 2 seconds. Not the easiest surface to paint, but fun. And like I think I mentioned, we're going to do some layering. There's going to be some oranges. There's going to be some blacks and shading going on to give it a little bit more of a realistic look. So this claw here needs a lot of love. Okay, we'll let that dry and come back to it as well. Okay, so we're pretty much dry here on the red layer. We're going to add some orange highlights. I think just to the inside of the claws here, and the inside of the shell, just to give it some contrast, a little definition too. So. Just want it to blend in. We're not looking for perfection, because every lobster, like people, is different. Sometimes if the paint gets a little too brushy, I guess I would call it, I like to use my finger. Just mashes it down. It's actually one of the best tools you have. Is all right, whatever. So very interesting surface to try to paint on, though. I'll tell you, the paint does want to come off. It does not want to stay on there for too long of a period of time, but of course we're going to seal this. When it's done, we'll have a coat on it and we'll be good to go. But yeah, this is fun to learn how to paint on this stuff. It's not very straightforward. It's a challenge. Just some more orange highlights here. What I'll tell you now is the next thing we're going to do when I'm done with the orange random highlights, I am going to come back with a darker, probably a black or a gray shading as well in some places. And then if I'm really feeling frisky, I might add a couple of barnacles, which would be obviously white or off-white. So we'll see where this adventure takes us. We're just, everything's a first, everything's a one of a kind, and you never know. See that? Takes the paint right off. Amazing. Very cool. Best thing is there's no rules. Everybody knows the rules, but there's no rules because we said so. All right. And just do a little orange in these crevices here. Just a little. All right, let's let that dry, and we'll move right on to the next step. All right, so moving right along, let's do some more highlights on this this crustacean of ours. Just need a little black, but not much. Just good. I'm gonna add some darker highlights to the raised areas here. So, like so. Nothing crazy. Just a little right on the knuckles. Oh, battle wounds. Just want to fade that in a little bit. Just give it that well-worn look. Couple of decades in the ocean. Okay, so we'll go with that. And now I'm just going to add a few white speckles as if it's barnacles. And we'll do that right over the black. So wherever there's black, I'll try to just give the impression that there's some barnacles formed on this old guy or gal. Maybe just like that. That should be enough. Maybe one out at the edge here. Just like that. So we're back, and I think the last thing I want to do is the eyeballs. So I'll use my trusty head of a nail, and I'll just drop those suckers right in there. Beady-eyed lobster. Give them one there. Let's see if we can't give them another one. Losing my grip here. All right. Give them another one right there. That's all. Perfect. So let's let it dry again, and let me go find a piece of wood to adhere this to and come up with what words we might put on the sign. So be right back. All right, so I'm going to wrap up the painting part of this, and I'm going to give it a quick clear coat just to protect it for now and for later. So that's what we're looking at in terms of a lobster on a baking tin. But let me spray it, and then we'll come back and we'll discuss the wood we're going to make the sign out of with this. All right? chill. Be right back. All right, so let's just jump right into this. Get this done. Almost knocked you over. Becoming a habit. I'm actually indenting this a little bit because I found some garage sale netting, crafting netting that I had picked up for a couple of bucks a long time ago, and I found it in a box, and it will be perfect to adorn this sign. So we're going with an off-white. Who is this? This is the ex-con Martha Stewart. It is I don't know. They've got more languages on the packaging than telling you the color of it, but summer linen in 3 languages. Amazing. Anyway, I'm just kidding with ex-con. I mean, that was an interesting case. If you were in and around the markets at the time. Something else. Okay, so all right, we're going light on paint. We're going heavy on character, like that. This sign's been outside, wink wink, for years, maybe decades. So we want it to look as such. I have to laugh to myself. I'm going to get to the O in this particular stencil here for food, and it's just amazing how poorly made it is. It can be maddening when I don't know. It's not that big of a deal, but they make stencils sometimes that it seems like they're trying to make them fail. But I'll show you. All right, so we got C going, and we're gonna have our lobster probably straight up and down, glued onto here, up in this area. So we'll do food now. Let me make sure I get to keep you guys in the frame if I can. That would be great. Now do the F. Right about there. That should do it. All right, so here's the mysterious O. They give you a stencil, and it's not about the cost of it or anything, it's the convenience. And they have it attached by a tiny, I mean, just literally a thread-like piece of cardboard was holding this stencil onto here, top and bottom. And of course it's going to break in 2 seconds. So if I knew that, I would have bought it, obviously I would have purchased it, 10 times over, but because I do like the font. But anyway, so I put a piece of masking tape on the back. So this is kind of watching the sausage being made. This is information you never ever really certainly signed up for, but I'm giving it to you anyway because it's all part of the process. So, you know, you got to play games now with getting the thing to set up. So, such is life. No big deal. All right. Well, there's one O. Let's do it again. See how it's a pain in the ass, though? I mean, it's so unnecessary. But it is what it is. Right? Easy on the paint. Doesn't take much. O away, and we got the D. This is thrilling stuff, I'm sure. You just on the edge of your chair. It's actually kind of like watching paint dry. Get it? That's a good one. Or not. All right. Here we go. So we're done with the lettering already. Rushing through it, but there we go. All right, so there we are. Seafood, 2 words, not 1. Okay, so the lobster now is all sealed off. It's been sprayed with a 2X clear sealer. Just a regular Lowe's type. And so we're good to go. We're going to attach it here in the middle between sea and food. And yes, I did do that on purpose. Seafood is a word. Seafood is also 2 words, especially back in the day. And I did that, and I do that frequently just to give it a different look. But that's just me. Also, like I mentioned, we have this netting. It's kind of a crafty type of a netting that I'm going to stencil. Excuse me. I'm going to staple to the back and have it hang over. So that'll be pretty cool on this as well. So, and this like I said, or if I haven't said it, I'm going to glue it either straight up like that, or I'm going to put it on a little bit of a skew like that. But I'm not, it's a tough one. I'll probably do it like this, and then maybe I'll regret that. I don't know. Tell me in the comments if I'm losing my mind, but worrying about such minor details. But anyway, let me show you me putting the netting on, and I probably won't take the time to show you me gluing this on because that's not really worth anybody's time. But All right, hang in there. Thank you. Hey, we're back. The lobster is now attached. It's been glued on. So I'd like to now attach some of this netting, kind of halfway decent looking netting. So I'm going to use a staple gun and I'm going to staple on the back here first. Kind of bunch it together in the back. That should be plenty. I like to use a little tack hammer. Excuse me. Hope that's not COVID. Of course it isn't. All right. And we'll do a couple of staples on the front too. I'm not that worried about the staples showing because I'll probably just tap some brown paint on top of them. It's just an accent. We're not trying to necessarily be a focal point. Don't need much. Something like that. All right, we'll just let that chill out. It'll find its place in the world wherever it's hanging. All right, so that's about a wrap now, guys. I think that I think we can call it a wrap. There's your friendly lobster, if I can get it in frame. That guy is going to be hanging out. And there's your wall sign. Lobster mold, cake mold, or jello mold, or whatever they call them. But we'll wrap it up right here. Thanks for coming. Hit the subscribe if you want to get notified when new videos are coming out. Thumbs up if you like it. Thumbs down if you don't. Thanks so much. Bye.